Привет, comrades! Hello, everybody who doesn't speak Russian. Because I don't speak Russian, but I can say Привет. And I probably mispronounced it. But anyway, welcome to Volga, the Volga region. We've come here. You'll notice I have less money than I had when I said I was going to have that kind of money. You know, things are never as easy as they should be. We have vegetables. Yummy vegetables. They're never as easy as they should be. No, no, no. We came here and then they were all upset because we brought the trucks like this one and they said, oh, they didn't meet the requirements. And so we had to pay, you know, licensing and tariffs and all that. And then the guy up at the place here, he said that we were missing this and that. So we had to give him a little bit of extra money under the table. They call that a bribe, but whatever. But in the end, we have our little house and we have our farm. Now, it's sort of a farm, but not a farm. Yes, I know, Rooster. It's a co-op, and we're helping them out. So they kind of hired us in to manage their co-op because they were doing a bad job of it. No, well, yes. Their other manager, he just left. He said, "I'm done," and he left. So it's us. And we have a lot of things, but more than that, they also asked us to help them out. So the town is kind of economically depressed, as you can see. It's not like, you know, there's no big gleaming skyscrapers or anything. I mean, they have a church. That's good. And part of that was finding new employment for the citizens because the lumber mill has shut down, and you know, with Russia having some economic problems, that's kind of been a problem. And over here, the town had some great plans and things went awry. So what we did is we are also going to help them build a concrete plant here. Yeah, we got to build the concrete plant from the ground. From the ground of nothing. Yeah, it's going to be fun. And I'm going to drive over this. We want to get the lumber mill back running, but that needs fuel. Unfortunately, they can't afford the fuel because it was coal-fired. I don't know why it was coal-fired, but it was. And they don't know if they can't afford the coal anymore. So we've had conversations, and I think we've converted it to a straw-fired plant. But I love the Jeep. But we're going to have to get some straw in order to do that. Yeah, that's a thing. The roads are kind of a mess. I mean, these ones aren't bad, but we have another field. But we need to start on that field over there. So the fields are huge. They're just massive, which is great. But there was no combine harvester. They didn't tell me this beforehand. They were like, hey, come on out and work our place. And yeah, they didn't tell me that there was no combine harvester. So we got here, and the advantage here is there's a lot of broken down parts all over the place. And we're pretty good with our hands, and we can do some repair work. So there's some spare combines to my right, and I put one together, and some of you are going to groan when you see it, but it's back. The Dawn is back. Yeah, we had to put the Dawn back together. I mean, look at all these broken down combines and stuff out here. Yeah. It's not the same one. I think it's not the same one. It's got some serious issues. It's not going to last forever. But we didn't have a choice, so that's what we're going to go with. Now, thankfully, I was able to get a decent size draper? Is that what they call these things? I don't remember. We were able to get a decent sized one. I mean, look, there's pieces over there. I mean, this place is interesting. Let's just say that. This place is interesting. And so we, I still can't get the lights to go out. I'm just like, I don't care. We're going to use this thing until it dies. And when it dies in a smoking pile of ruin, we'll just get some guy with a bulldozer to push it off the side of the path, and we'll be good there. That's what I'm going with. That's about all we got. Yeah, that's what's going down. That's what's going down. It's going to be interesting. And this isn't the only field. So we've got this field here and then field 14 down there. Yeah. Yeah. So several things. One, we have to help them build the concrete plant so they can get their people working. We have to get the sawmill, not saw bench number 1, but the actual mill, which is right up ahead of us here. We have to get that running. They'd like the meat processing plant running again. And the bakery is important because they can't really get a lot of, the cost of importing to this region is ridiculous. So they really need us to quickly get involved in producing stuff for the bakery so they have food, because, you know, food's good. Maybe if we have time, we'll do something about these roads. But in the meantime, we're just gonna fall in all the potholes. And these are Russian potholes, I'll tell you what. Oofda. All right, so we've got canola, a lot of canola. You think, oh, it's not that bad, but canola goes on for days. We got canola for days. Canola for days. All right, let's unfold. There we go. Now, the advantage is because we're in this area and people are, you know, they're walking around, they're unemployed, we can hire workers. So, thankfully, I don't know what his name is. I don't name my workers. Thankfully, he can be helpful. Now, the problem is that cedar. Oh my goodness, and the plow. Yeah, we have to take into account the fact that we have, many of you have noticed, yeah, we have the soil mod in, and we have strong acidity, so we actually need to spread some lime down to get the acidity to change. And we have to plow and cultivate that into the ground. I'm hoping that we can do like a couple of harvests without having to do much, in hopes that that we can do something. I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to start by buying things. Yeah. All right, so we're going to start by buying let's start with a loading wagon. We're going to need a loading wagon in the long term. Let's see, that's 30,000. Okay, so we're going to buy that. Woo! All right, so we have that guy. That's a good thing to have because we're going to need that for the straw. We're also going to plant some trees. Let's go cherry. Cherry sounds good. We're going to plant some cherry trees, kind of maybe along here. Yeah. You know what? Let's plant them along here. Apparently we're allowed to plant them along here, so we're going to do that. So I'm going to plant them along here, and we'll be able to collect cherries. And it's Russia, so you know we're going to have to put in the wine. If we had potato, if we had the vodka, that would be good. I know there's a mod for that, by the way. All right, so we got that. So we'll be doing that. We are eventually going to produce our own seed and fertilizer because it does cost to not do that. But let's just go with that for now. We do need bigger plow and a bigger cultivator. Need a better tractor. Well, we need a tractor. I thought about these ones, but these ones are now too expensive for us. These ones are here, though. And we do have the old TT4, but we're not going to buy that. We're going to go ahead and get the Raba 250. We're not going to get the dual wheels. We're just going to get the 250. So we'll buy that guy because pretty much we can pull anything. I know I could get the Kirovits, but I didn't put it in here because I don't remember why, but we didn't get the gear bits. We're going to have to go with in-game seeder, I think, for now. An in-game cultivator. What are we going to... What's that going to set us back? Way more money than we have. Sweet. We're definitely going to need a cultivator. Wow. What is your working with? 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. We're going to have to aim for that. So 47,000 right now, leave us with just 1 grand. In trucks, we're now going to have less than 1 grand because in trucks, we are going to get this guy, I believe. Maybe not. Was it not that one? Which one of my trailers, DerTebbers, would accept... this guy apparently will accept all the things. Yeah, okay. So we'll be looking at that, though. This one shows all the UPK, so I'm really thinking we're going to end up with that trailer again. All right, so we're going to probably be doing that. We're looking at that. My worker is still working. Good. All right, there's the Rabba. All right, the Rabba is not the best. I have no problem admitting that. But you know what? It fits here. And I mean, look, they got these things. They were going to ship them out because they're actually broken. They don't work anymore. But the switch is broken. And they haven't gotten around to fixing the switch, so they can't do anything about that. So, you know, things, they just cascade sometimes. All right, so we've got, what is that? Canola. Canola's planted over there. There's the, lumber mill. That's the word I'm looking for. There's the lumber mill. So we've got to get that working because then people will start having, you know, jobs there at the lumber mill. And we've got this here facility that if we can get that working, they think they can, you know, we can get some people working there. And I don't know what they would be doing there, but, you know, whatever. And then, of course, we are a major employer now. We're basically the only employer right now. Which is probably less than ideal, but, you know, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Now, with the size of this field, what I'm thinking is I'm going to plant it in pieces. So I'm going to kind of patch it together. And I know that sounds weird, but what I'm thinking is, as I clear off a chunk of the field, so let me, that. So as we get to maybe a quarter of the field done, which will be about to where our tractor is located. That's going to be a long time. Once I get to that point, then what I'll do is I'll go and I'll plant that in one crop, continue harvesting, because it's basically going to be, you know, a forever harvesting episode. We're always going to have something harvesting, I think. And once I'm another quarter of the way done, I'll plant something else in that quarter, and you kind of see what I'm going with there. I hope you do. We got to get logging going pretty quick. But without straw, I don't know how much we're going to get done, honestly. Well, let me rephrase that. I do, because there is something else we can do. Let's turn this guy off, and let's go over here, because we can continue exploring the map while that guy is doing his thing. All right. So, this is our main farmyard here. Our gates work when I don't have the header parked right outside. We'll just take a cut across the grass, because, hey, whatevs. All right. So, we've got these fields here. We'll get over to the bakery kind of at the end of the tour. I got to watch him, make sure he's still working. All right. So this is sort of the main loop around town. I already talked about the lumber yard there. You've seen the shop, and then and that thing, the mill. That's what it is. Haha, the mill. We got the train here. Don't see any trains coming. We should be okay to get across here. All right. They've been working on this building for a long time. They want us to help out with that as well. So we'll be making deliveries there. That's also where we can deliver our eggs and our milk, which is good. Then up here is where we can deliver. This is our spinnery. We're definitely going to be having some sheep and some chickens. So this is the spinnery. We'll be able to deliver the wool here, and I believe they will also take, though I'll have to check, they'll also take the boards from the sawmill, because there is another sawmill. I can get to it this way. Yeah, I can get to it this way. There is a second sawmill. They kind of asked us to kind of be not to use this one as much, because while they are like, yeah, it's a sawmill and everything, they kind of were like, yeah, but it's not as good as our other one. Still, it's a sawmill. I'm thinking we might, as much as I don't really want that TT4 again, it would make sense to come in here and drop some logs in here as well. They don't really want us to use the train, but we could. They're like, the train goes to another town and then they get the work instead of us, but you know, we'll see. But we got this, and they said this whole forest, they'd like to see it go because they have plans to develop it. I don't know if I believe that, but you know, we'll oblige them in tearing down this forest. I think the TT4 is going to be the way to go there, though I would really like to buy a is he moving? Yeah. Telehandler or a front loader to do the work. That would be amazing, because then we just grab them, limb them, cut them up a little bit, and bish bash bosh, off we go. All right, let's go this way. All right, I'm not going to take this truck on too many of the off-road excursions. We need a tougher truck. We're going to be selling these AA's, I think. Down here is the sand facility. They have a dredge they send out, and it pulls in sand from off in the bay and drops it off, and then we can take the sand, and it will be delivered to the new concrete plant as we build the concrete plant. And if we keep going this way, it's a long drive. There's the port, which is a port. Again, they said, you know, if you have to take stuff there, take stuff to the port. But they want to kind of keep as much as they can local, because they want to kind of keep their people employed. Though their local people are employed at the port, so they're like, it's okay if you have to, because we have people that are employed there. There's a gravel yard down there. Again, that's a serious off-road drive. We're not going to do it in the AA here. We'll get a heavy truck for that. They've been blasting back there. They have people working there. Not a lot of people, because there's not a lot of work until we can start hauling gravel out. When we start hauling gravel out of the gravel yard, then we'll be taking it over to work on the new cement plant, because then they'll be able to take sand and gravel as a constant to the cement plant to make cement, and they plan to take that to the rail yard, which is that little blob south of the spinnery and north of the kind of northeast of the concrete plant. Because then they'll be able to take stuff to the rail yard and ship it off, and then they'll be able to make money, which is what they want to do. Yeah. And we have the vegetable base for handling all the vegetables. The meat market there in town. We're coming up on... No, we're not. I'd have to turn left here. It's a long drive in this truck. And this truck goes 51 kilometers an hour. I mean, that's not super fast, but let's be honest. Wow. All right, so let me... let's move along here. All right, there's the vegetable processing plant. So we'll be able to take our vegetables there because we've got all kinds of vegetables to grow here. That is the elevator there. So we have some storaging and we can put some stuff there as we need to. I can't actually, I mean, this truck I could, it's not easy, but I can get to the bakery. There's no bridge. You end up going through the river there. They said they're going to replace the bridge, but then they said they didn't have any money, and then they said it's okay because it's Russia. And I just shrugged my shoulders and said, okay, that's fine. But we will have to get to the bakery. We'll use some heavier trucks for that, I guess. And then the meat processing plant. Now, let me show you what all we can grow. Wheat, barley, canola, corn, potatoes, sugar beets, garlic, soybeans, radishes, onions, sunflowers, and carrots. That is all the things that we can store. We can grow. And then where is the canola best? The elevator, the port. All right, so taking it to the port would get us a little bit extra coin. We might do that only because, again, they have some people there. There. See that area right there where it's inside a fence? Not the thing there, but the thing over there. The thing over there in the fence, that's where the seeds and the all the nutrients, fertilizers and all that, as well as all the herbicides and such, all that's stored there. Kind of sort of away from town, but not really away from town, if you get my drift there. Are you still working? Or are you off on a lark? You seem to be off on a lark. Oh, nope, you're moving. Okay. So, it's kind of I'm not sure what I'm going to do to start. I mean, obviously we're going to go and get some barley. We're going to take it to the port. Oofda. I'm thinking this truck is going to be sold here in just a moment. This and the other truck, I think, are both going to be sold because we need capacity. And this one doesn't have a lot of capacity. Ooh, completely missed my turn because I was talking. So we're going to do that, I think. We want to sell this truck. We might keep the other one for just a short amount of time. So let's take this guy in. I mean, I liked it. It was a great old truck. But here in Russia, a Ford AA doesn't really work. So in trucks, now there's this big Kraz here. This guy will take 8,000 liters. But there's also this guy here, 7,000 liters. Pretty close to this one, 200 liter less capacity. Cost me more per day, but it's cheaper overall. Now I got this guy here, 9,000 liter capacity, still a little bit cheaper and more expensive. What was the capacity on this thing again? 3,500. Well, no matter what I buy, it's going to be an improvement over that. Now this guy's 14.8. 14.8 plus, not that, but that is 12. 27,000 basically for 13,200 liters. Whew, that would seem to be the better deal, don't you think? I think that's a better deal. Plus, we can use it for hauling all these other trailers, including, mind you, this one if we needed it. I think that's going to be what we're going to do. We'll get the three-side tipper. Let's go with more of a dark green. Yeah, let's go with dark green as our color. That's going to be our color of choice. In trucks, let's get the... Ooh, I'm tempted to get the 6x6 over the 4x4. Yeah, let's get the 6x6. The reason being that we're going to be doing some off-roading. All right. Whew, we got ourselves our bigger truck here. There we go. Nice big engine. This guy will do us some good work. There we are. Yeah. Yeah, I got a nice throat to it. And then I'll take the other forward. I'll sell that. That'll get me a little chunk of change. We're now below what we need for a cultivator, but we'll figure it out. So I should be able to sell 13,000. We'll go to the port and whatnot. This guy's also faster, which is more important on these big maps like this. Wow, you're still harvesting, huh, bud? How full are you? Oh, you're 75%. Wow. Jolly good. Jolly good. All right, so he's got a ways to go. We need to get the money for the other thing. So let's get this guy. Come on. There we go. All right, so we need a cultivator. Let's see how much this thing sells for. If this thing sells for the money we need, we grab the cultivator, we grab the Raba, and we start some cultivation. It's not going to get us that money, is it? No, it's going to get us 7,000, which is going to get us not close to what we need. Oh, that hurts. Shouldn't have bought the 6x6. Should have bought the 4x4, but all is not lost just yet. All is not lost just yet. I think a delivery of the canola will split it between the port and such. I think that will let us get up to what we needed, which was what, 47 grand? Yeah. Yeah, we're a little bit shy. Aha! All right. So we're also going to do longer episodes in Lakasha here because we have a lot of land to work on. And I don't want to, you know, do a huge amount off screen. In fact, I'm going to do very little off screen. Because I can use hired workers. Yay! Something we haven't been able to do for quite a while is use hired workers. So we're going to do that thing. Dude, you're missing stuff, man. Dude, really? Hold on. Stop backing into me. Hold on. Mate, come on. Yeah, I want you to... okay. Let's try this again. Come on. I'm gonna have to get really close to him, aren't I? Ah. Oh? Oh. Ah. Move pipe over trailer. Pipe is over the trailer. Why you not pipe? Why you not pipe? Okay. Why not work? All right. Come on. Out you go. Get out. All right. This is going to be interesting. It is canola, so that should pipe. Really? Really? We're really going to do this, huh? All right. That's odd. That should have worked fine. Okie dokie then. I'll figure you out later. We actually do need a tipper that works then. Let's see what we have in tippers that we can use that we know works. Those are not actually out of my budget. I could go with those. I know those work. That's out of my budget. What's that? 5,000 liters. Not really worth it to me. Okay, So is this, hold on. Yeah, that's canola right there. Why you not work? Why you want to be that way? All right, fine. That's fine. This is going to hurt. You know what? Let's go back. Let's go over here. Tippers. I wonder if it's too tall. It can't be too tall. It's all right. I'll figure out why this isn't working. And next time, hopefully we'll have more of this done. And maybe we've even sold something. You know, it's never easy. It's never easy. Shorter than the episode I want to be. I'm aiming for 45, but we're going to cut it short because I don't want to waste money when I don't need to. All right, until next time, I've been DerTebbers. This is a farming simulator. We are going to do more orcharding than harvesting, or not even orcharding. We're going to do a lot more stuff other than farming, only because the farming is ridiculous with these fields. But we'll do that next time. Yeah. That's what I'm going with. Next time. All right, until then, game on and be awesome, everybody.